Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Hootzel. I just wanted to add some audio notes to this Greed and Soul Food presentation. I want you to notice this little guy in the picture, and he certainly has a whole bunch of cookies right in front of him. Question is, does he need that many cookies or does he want that many cookies? And that's the introduction to this particular presentation. Is this guy being greedy? What is greed? So, greed is the insatiable hunger for more and more and more money, possessions, food, pleasure. Insatiable means never satisfied, so constantly being hungry for it. And it's the feeling that we need certain stuff in order to make us happy, in order to make us feel full. Greed is often a sign of much deeper problems. When we use stuff to fill us, to make us feel happy, we say that we are unfulfilled. And so let's talk about what actually does fill us. Some people think that stuff is needed to fill them. We often hear students, or I hear my own kids say, Mom, I really need this. Do you need a new iPhone or do you just want a new iPhone? When you take a look at the picture of the children below, you start to recognize that the real needs that we have might be basic needs. The needs for food, the need for shelter, the need for warmth. Those kinds of things are basic needs. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which we studied earlier in the unit, we learned that Maslow really felt that the basic needs needed to be met before we could go on into further levels of satisfaction. And we recognize that the basic needs might be more than just food and shelter. I had you consider, are things like love and companionship and community actually basic needs? And some of you in the discussion section commented on that and recognized that maybe this idea of community was a basic need. So when we start to equate our social image to our self-worth, we're starting to recognize that we are showing this idea of being greedy for stuff and greedy for people's approval. And that's kind of a dangerous area to be in. So I want you to understand what this cycle is about. It shows us that when we post an image to social media, or if we, show some kind of prank in a classroom, and what we're looking for is people's social positive reinforcement of that. Do we do stuff in a class in order to get people to approve of our behavior and to approve us and to like us? Do we post things and count the likes that we have on our social media? When we're waiting for those likes, or when we're waiting for people's social opinion of us to build us up, we say that we are relying on social image to build our self-worth. What we need to recognize is that we don't need all of that social liking to be worthful. To be worthful means to have self-value that isn't really based on everybody else. It's about recognizing in yourself that you are full of capabilities. So when you take a look at the next slide, it talks about this idea that greed often comes from marketing, and marketing is very clever. It's a way to get us to want more stuff. We do recognize that often when people want more stuff, we say that there's perhaps like a bigger problem underneath their self-value. It's kind of like they're getting more stuff in order to have that show that they are something, and they really are something without that stuff. And until they recognize that, they could be kind of involved in this idea of stuff greed. What we really need is soul food. Soul food is nourishment for a starving spirit. Soul food is what fills us up. That is not food. It's not stuff. It's not brands. It's not too much of something. What it is it's intangible. It's not necessarily things that accumulate. It's feelings. It's feeling like you have value to give the world. Your presence, your help, your maybe even your intelligence, things that you can share of yourself is what fills you. And so I'm going to have you fill in a discussion point that is about what actually could be considered soul food. It's doing things that are good for other people and that brings value to the world rather than you taking from the world, taking stuff and accumulating it. It's about what are you giving to the world, and that actually fills you up. So it's kind of opposite, this idea of when you give stuff away, when you give away your intelligence, your humor, when you give away part of yourself, it actually fills you up. So, what kinds of things can we do to feed our soul, to fill us up? Rather than buying stuff, what can we do? I'm going to add this as a discussion in the LMS, so you're going to find that under the discussion section. In addition, take a look at these reflection questions, and if you can answer those will be helpful for the unit test or the unit quiz. There are the reflection questions, see if you can answer them, and then the PowerPoint that I'm putting into the LMS has the answers. There's a second set of reflection questions as well. So you're going to see the answers here, some more questions and some more answers. That's just helpful for you to be able to study from. We'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.